Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the promotion ceremony for Lieutenant Colonel Jason Bersma. We'd like to welcome the Commanding General of the 2nd Infantry Division, Major General David A. Lesbrowns. We'd also like to recognize Brigadier General Calvert, General Robinson, and Brigadier General Kim. We'd also like to welcome all commanders, officers, sergeants major, co-workers, friends, and family for being here to share in this special occasion. Finally, we have Lieutenant Colonel Bersma's daughters, Abigail, Grace, and Sadie, and wife, Angela. We have David and Ann Bersma on Zoom from Northwest Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation delivered by the 2nd Infantry Division Chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel David Patrick Devine.
Let us pray. Father, your word teaches us that when the righteous flourish, the people rejoice. And so we begin with joy and thanksgiving in the recognition and the celebration of faithful service to our nation by a family who embody the words of their Savior, the leader, as one who serves. So grant this promotion and their continued service the opportunity for the Bersmas to love others more fully, to serve more passionately, and to honor you completely. And may your grace cover all who are present and watching. I pray in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we'll have opening remarks from the commander of the 2nd Infantry Division, ROK-US Combined Division, Major General David Lesbrowns.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for coming here today. And just so you know, we've got this podium in the center, which we don't normally have during a ceremony because Jason's parents are right in front of me. I've had a wonderful conversation with them. Right now they're looking, okay, there we go. I'll show my face. But we're so happy to have them a part of this. Jason told me that this is the first time his family has been in person for any of his promotions up to this point in his career. So that's another great news story that your lovely wife and your 3 daughters could be here in person for the first promotion in your career. So this is wonderful news. Those that know Jason know what kind of quality leader he is. You know, when he signed on to this ride, he came in as the division engineer, and you know, and as I conducted my onboarding process and was getting to know the staff, you know, I recognized him as a former engineer battalion commander and highly competent technical and tactical expert, exceptional staff officer, and life was going great. And then life threw the division a curveball, and the officer projected to come in and fill the C3 role. Unexpectedly, due to some personal medical issues, had to decline filling the position. And so you know, the chief and I really knew there was one person that was up to the task, and it was Jason Bersma. And he stepped in without missing a beat and did a phenomenal job as the division's C3 from July until Jose Reyes got on board in January of this year. And so I can't thank you enough, Jason, for your flexibility, agility, and resilience in taking on a role that I think in your mind you didn't think you were prepared for, but I knew all along you could get the job done. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. It absolutely has got the attention of all the senior mentors that came out of MCTP, as well as Lieutenant Joel Buchanan. And a job well done. I mean, I've seen maneuver officers not do as well as you've done that spent their entire career maneuvering, you know, from the platoon level up to the battalion level before this is the traditional pathway to select the G3. So I can't thank you enough for being the type of leader that you are. He's also, quite frankly, in many cases, a moral compass for us on the staff as well. And we strive to live the lives of an example that Jason and his family sets. They're wonderful teammates in the community, and so thank you so much for what you do and for the families on Camp Humphreys. I do have some fun facts that Jason's provided me. I'm going to highlight a couple of them. The first fun fact is he grew up in the south suburb of Chicago until he went to college. I guess I don't know. I don't know much about Chicago, but
It's a good old day, sir.
good old days. He was actually, and this really this was interesting to me because I was on a team at Fort Benning when we were thinking about what this new brigade combat team type would look like. We were calling it the IBCT, the Interim Brigade Combat Team, which later became known as the Stryker Brigade Combat Team. So I was on the document writing effort that was, and the concepts and design team that helped put some of that together for the Army. My part as a young captain and then major. And so you caught my eye when you said you were actually assigned to that unit that stood up. I think it was an armored brigade that stood up to become a Stryker Brigade combat team up at then known as Fort Lewis, Washington, back in the day, right? I think it was like in 2001, 2, 3 time frame. Yeah. So that you caught my eye on that. That is a good fact. He also has been wearing. This is a good one for all of us. He's been wearing the 2ID patch for a total of 8 years of his 22-year career. 8 years of a 22-year career, he's been wearing the Warrior Division patch on his left sleeve. He spent he's been 2.5 years at Lewis, three and a half years at Casey and Hovey, and then 2 years here at Camp Humphreys. So that's pretty special. Is there anybody here that's got more 2ID time than Jason right now? If you have, raise your hand. I didn't even know that until now. This is awesome. Yeah, he did 2 company commands and 172 armor as well. He met Angela while she was teaching at the Ouijanbu Christian School when he was stationed up at Camp Casey, and then after they got married, they lived in the lovely town of Dongdashan right outside the gate. And you are still loving Korea. This is awesome. And then he has spent 12 and a half of 22 years Oconus in his career. 12 and a half of 22 years Oconus, and has not been back to the United States for 6.5 years. So, job well done, and this is not a farewell, but I just want to highlight, he's heading off to be the Deputy Division, United States Division Commander in Cincinnati? Yeah, Cincinnati, when he concludes this tour. And I think he's looking forward to getting back and reintegrating with American culture and all that comes with that. There might be a little, I think you said there might be a little tension and stress with the idea of going back to the States at this point, but certainly your families will be super happy to have you a lot closer than you've been over the last 6 months. Obviously mom and dad are here, so David and Ann Bersma, his dad is taught for 25 years in schools and choir, and he's an exceptional singer, as Jason's highlighted in his fun facts note. I'm sorry to embarrass you, Mr. Bersma. And then his mom has also been an educator and really been teaching piano for most of her adult life, playing and teaching the piano for most of her adult life. So we're really, really super excited to have and a very stable platform. I don't know who put this together, but we got a very stable platform for his parents right now to be a part of the ceremony today. And then as I look at some final notes, I obviously as we look at the family, we're very, very happy to have Abby, Grace, and Sadie a part of this ceremony today as well. As I feel compelled, and it's almost like a requirement for me to highlight that I just have to give you a couple tips before you put on those eagles, which I think are is one of the coolest looking ranks the Army has is the eagles on your shoulders. Just a few things. If Colonel Kennedy's here, it might be a little repetitive, but I think it's still a good reminder for all of us to just reaffirm what the significance of what being a colonel means. First is colonels run the Army, and they really do. Colonels run the Army, and it's tough to earn this promotion to this rank. This is truly the head of the needle that gets threaded here, and it's not insignificant that you've been selected for a colonel. So don't forget that. And it's not about what you did before. It's what the potential that you've indicated to many people, obviously, that you can operate at the strategic level. As soon as you pin on colonel rank, you are operating at the strategic level, whether you realize it or not. Because everything you say, every policy draft that you draft for somebody else has a strategic impact. And you have to be very, very careful with your words and mean what you say and say what you mean and be thoughtful to the view that how a strategic leader would approach solving the wicked problems that need to be solved as we build and sustain our Army. The second thing is, not only is it run by the Army, but it's shaped and in some cases pre-decided by colonels, pre-decided by the Council of Colonels, which can be a blessing and a curse. I've been frustrated by Council of Colonels recently, and routinely, but it's all for good reasons. I mean, at the end of the day, when you run large, complex organizations, one-offs sometimes can be disruptive, and a stable base of councils of colonels, and then 1 and 2 star, and then 3 and 4 star GOSCs. Ensure we thought through all the problems appropriately and don't make the wrong decision for the Army. And you're required to enter the early phases of being a part of that strategic leadership team that is absolutely necessary for the Army to function correctly. And just remember, you outrank 98% of the people in the Army. All right. And so everybody's going to be watching you, and people are going to treat you differently. And because you wear eagles, they will assume that you can solve their problems and are an expert in everything. So that's some counsel to you as well. And based upon what we've seen out of you here, I have no doubt you're up to the task. At the end of the day, colonels manage resources and time. And as I listened to General Garrett as he took on the reins of Force Com from Joel Abrams, and as I watched him expertly coach, at least 14 or 15 brigade commanders that at the time in that I was the CG out of Fort Irwin, and I'm going to quote General Garrett on this one. He said, the really best colonels slow time down for their units. The best colonels slow time down for their units, so that subordinate commanders have the space and resources and time to be able to develop a situation and get after what you tasked them to do. So that's not my last point of counsel to you, but one final observation is to remain humble. I have no doubt that you're not going to have a problem with this. Colonels, you have the tenure to serve for 30 years. You got potentially 8 years. I know that you and your family are working on what the timeline looks for you right now, but you could serve another 8 years in the Army as a colonel, and that means you absolutely are obligated to speak truth to power. Don't be afraid to tell people more senior than you, all the way up to the 4 stars, what they need to hear. And that's what the Army needs, is a colonel that speaks truth to power and isn't worried about holding something back to get to the next rank. So those are my points of counsel for you, and for all of you in the room, that's something to consider as well, especially if you're a young lieutenant colonel and getting ready to make that potentially the next transition. I see a lot of colonels in here, obviously. It's good to see the 8th Army teammates here. So thanks for coming. There's quite a few of you, and then for the division staff, all of you have the potential, at least still at this point, to be a colonel one day. So just consider that as you think about how you want to be a leader and a staff officer over the next few years of your career. And so without any further ado, what I'd like to do is invite Team Bersma to come forward. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we got the cameras straight here. Oh, it says we're running out of time. Are we running out of time? On that? Okay.
We might have to refresh it.
So we'll let them work on that. So, section 15, Team Bersma, come on up. Are we on this side? So once everybody gets, yeah, over there, then.
Yeah. Just start to, yeah, everybody line up, you do this. Okay.
gave me time to do that. We're not in a rush today. All right, are we ready? All right, please publish your orders.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publishing of the orders. The Secretary of the Army has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Lieutenant Colonel Jason L. Bersma. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore promoted in the United States Army to the rank of Colonel with the rank of 1 May 2022, signed Major Crystal E. Moore, Chief Officer, Promotions Branch.
All right, the families are going to come in and pin all of the required eagles on this uniform. Don't drop blood. You worry about this? Put that hat on real quick. Put that hat on real quick. Hat on. Stand up, please. Give him a round of applause. All right, what we're going to do now is reaffirm the oath.
Major General
I'm
Esperanza.
trying to make sure, I'm looking over to make sure that we've got the mom and dad and the photo correctly. All right, so we're going to be a little bit closer with him than normally are. So normally it's not this intimate. It's like, we'll work through this. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jason Brigade,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I will take this obligation freely,
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Colonel Bersma will be presented a certificate of promotion.
Get your hands on there. Come on, get your hands on there. Do it to them too. There we go.
1, 2, 3.
All right, wow, it's 22 years. First of all, praise God from whom all blessings flow. He's my creator, my king, my redeemer, and my sustainer. Any talents and abilities I have are gifts from him. In my life, and certainly my career, is clear evidence of his grace. Every breath, every day is a gift from him, and just so thankful for this day. God has blessed me far more than I deserve, And I know that to whom much is given, much is expected. So I'm indebted to more people than I can name in this speech, or that you would want me to name in this speech. But I will take time for some thanks. We are blessed with great leaders, as we've heard, even earlier this week at the helm for a while. We are blessed with great leaders in 2ID. So, Warrior 6, sir, thank you again for making this day, great for me, my family, and the team. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your leadership. You are a warrior leader. Your tactical competence is obvious. I'm not the first person to notice your energy, the passion that you bring. And your energy and passion breathes life into the room and breathes life into the staff that we need to, take on that, accomplish the mission and move on to the next objective. You're passionate about the right things. You're passionate about people and about being ready to fight tonight. So, sir, thank you for your leadership to me and the whole organization. The 6-6, sir, you've carried on the DCGM tradition of somehow knowing everything about the division at all times. Maybe it's just me. I think I've seen more of your sense of humor a year or two together. No, you're on fire during CCPT, sir. It's just fun. So thank you for your leadership. You do have the ability to kind of help the staff block out all the clutter and focus on the most important thing, and help focus us and teach us. I know there's meetings where you probably see 100 things wrong, but you coach us. You walk us on to the 2 or 3 most important things. And so thank you for your leadership and how you've taught me and helped me as a leader. Warrior 6-4, sir, thank you for your leadership, making us a truly combined division. You and your staff make us more knowledgeable, more capable, and more ready to fight tonight. And thank you for what you do every day, and for making us a truly combined division with your leadership. Warrior 5, ma'am, I thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your support and encouragement. There is a lot about your leadership I want to emulate and take forward, and I will. I've learned from you. I'll steal your analogy. You've taught us how to do orchestra. You taught us how to do jazz, and when we do some of those guitar riffs that only we're enjoying, you keep us in line, and so thanks for your leadership and for me and the whole staff. I don't know. So there's so many people that have invested in me over the years and have helped push me forward. And leaders that I want to emulate. Leaders like Chris McGowan, Mike Brooks, Chris Landers, Jason Jones, TJ Mosley, to name a few. Few names. They represent all the leaders throughout 22 years who have invested in me, who believed in me, who pushed me forward, challenged me, mentored me, and got me through the years. Thank my Lieutenant Colonel battle buddies here on staff, many of whom have spent 2 years together. Thanks for being great friends, leaders, and teammates. Thanks to the NCOs, the sergeants major. The Army is wise throughout your career to pair to pair officers with NCOs, to teach us, to give us that perspective that we need, that we don't have. And so I've benefited. Just to name a few, great counselors, advisors, technical experts, James Lowry, Rob Scott, Aaron Thompson, Ron Sheldon. Again, just a few names, but they represent all the NCOs throughout my career who have really been the backbone and been a part of every success of the last 22 years of my career. Thank you to the Iron Majors over the years who had to take my intent. Sometimes my intent was clear, sometimes it was not, but we always had to take it and run the organization and make it happen. So thanks to Kyle Wynn, Stephen Brooks, Jarek Sentinella, John Breggy, Alex Walker, Jesse Lee, Dave Dawes, Eric Flood, Jeremy Wheeler, and Brad Smith. To the protection team, wow, we've come a long way over 2 years from just looking at each other and going, what have we gotten ourselves into? What is this protection thing? Thanks to the protection team for stepping outside of your comfort zones and kind of natural areas of expertise, making it through the grind of the constant learning through the last 2 years. I think we've made protection a meaningful part of the division's operations. I have to recognize Lieutenant Colonel Winterton. Obviously, he's the driving force, with just incredible leadership, ownership, diligence, and competence, and for being a great friend and battle buddy. Thanks, Scott. To the Div Eng team, it's almost impossible to get us all in one place at the same time because there's always just so many things going on in so many different directions, so many different areas. But thanks for working hard, for making it happen, and having fun along the way. So thank you. To the PMO team, it's been an honor working with you. Also, a little more closely the past few months and getting to know more about the mission with the PMO team. You're a great team. You do a lot for the division. You're diverse areas. To the ROK officers, simply put, you're impressive and you represent your country well. It's an honor to serve alongside you. Your talent, competence, map overlays, just general PowerPoint, just general staff work is always impressive, and frankly, it's hard for us to keep up sometimes. But thank you for your hard work, your camaraderie, and friendship. You're great allies. We continue to pray for peace while we stay prepared for war. So thank you. All right, for those of you who are worried, I'm not going to forget about my family. To my wife, Angela, you're my rock, you're my haven, and anywhere you are is home base for me and the family. And you're my best friend and most trusted advisor. And this Proverbs 31 says, her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. I love you. Thank you for 14 years, and I think we're just getting started on this journey together. So, to my daughters, Abby, Gracie, and Sadie, you have a much different life than I did growing up, and you have to be so flexible and adaptable, and you are amazing. You are the hope for the future, and I love being with you and watching you grow. You are wonderful, my daughters and beautiful princesses. Do you have small gifts? All right. Well, Dad and Mom, thanks for staying up. Thanks for loving me, teaching me, and giving me the foundation of faith and character for life. Thanks for your love, prayers, and wisdom that continue to sustain me. I love you. I'm proud of you, and thanks for being a part of this ceremony. I'm almost done, but I'll share a few brief thoughts before I close. As you get older and advance in rank, it can be easier to become removed from the average soldier. And I'll never forget the words of Colonel Brooks, the former mentor, before I took battalion command. He told me to talk to my soldiers, not just through email, but look them in the eye and talk to them. Said to never forget that it is a sacred trust between the leader and the led. Said never forget that the lowest ranking soldier in your formation could be asked, to defend you and perhaps give his life for you, and to save your life on the battlefield. So that is what our Army is built on. It's a sacred trust between the leader and the lad, and between everyone wearing this uniform. Everyone needs a support system. You can see some of my support system here today. Your family, friends, co-workers, chaplains. If you don't have a support system, get one, because life is not a solo sport. If you aren't, not everyone is, maybe a tactical genius like Clausewitz or Jomini, but everyone should be able to at least treat people with respect and follow the golden rule. So respect translates across all cultures, translates across all ranks, civilian, military. All right, don't be afraid to learn, change, and grow. Make the world a better place, and start with yourself. Target your weak areas for improvement, just like in PT. But don't try to be someone you're not, and don't compromise your core convictions. Thank you for everyone who made this ceremony happen. Again, it's just like everything else in my career. It was successful because of everyone who pitched in and helped out. So just last thought is it's a privilege to serve this country, to wear the flag, and to be a part of. We should all be proud of our country. If you're a ROK officer here, you should think your country is the best country in the world. That's what I think. I think we're the best army in the world, and I think I still think despite many challenges and problems, we're the best hope for freedom in the world. So just pray for the United States, and thank you for everyone in this room serving and being a part of that, and to help navigate the future. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you who came, and make sure you eat some food before you leave. Second to none, remarks complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in the singing of the Warrior March.
We're born in France in 17, in the hell of the First World War. With infantry and cavalry, we bravely fought amidst the cannon's roar. The warriors went across the Meuse and River Marne. Our name and our fame were won. We marched so proudly with flags held on high, and they called us second to none.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. On behalf of Colonel Bersma, we would like to take this time to thank you all for attending today's ceremony. Please follow by and congratulate 2 IDs, newest colonel. Afterwards, please join him and his family for refreshments in the back. Once again, thank you.